All right, guys, here to talk about Ash vs. Evil Dead, Season 1, Episode 2.
So I think last time I almost, I stopped myself from saying, and I believe they go to Kelly's house and some hilarity ensues or whatever.
Yeah.
And they do.
No, like, it certainly solidifies the fact that she will be a main character once you see her family massacred. Her mom was a deadite. Her dad, was alive and annoying, and then he was promptly forked in the eye.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, no, it was.
Oh, it was wonderful.
It was fine.
And this further, like freaks me out. Like I said, like I like knowing the rules of the thing. So she just maintained her facade for like so long before they got there, all this other stuff or whatever. But I like the whole writing aspect of like what does he say? It's like so gross.
It's inconsistent and unreliable rules, which does make it scarier if you were in this world, because you're like, nothing can be trusted.
I can't even get up my nut to rumble unless I've taken a punch, he says.
Yes.
And then later clocks the mom and goes, "Told you, see?"
Yeah. Well, no, but it's even funnier.
A punch gets everything
like,
going.
I was beginning to feel like a dick.
Yes.
Good thing you're a demon.
No, it's wonderful. He's like, woo. No, it's great.
Yeah, no, I enjoy, like, this slapstick style continues. His
and there's
his charm is still there.
There's a wonderful bit with it's like the camera's on the shotgun.
Yes.
It's like going around, so it's that Sam Raimi like weird shots.
Yeah, that persists throughout all, the
yeah.
entirety of the show, and that's great because it maintains the vibe. You have that original feeling.
It's like a signature. It's like a specific thing.
There's a lot of things about the
way
way that things are filmed in the Ash vs. Evil Dead series that like you could turn it on and it's a scene that doesn't involve people that like are recognizable, and you're like, yep, I kind of know what show I'm watching. Yeah. And a lot of shows over the years have had like that kind of a vibe where you're just like, oh, I can tell by the darkness of the pitch or this, that, and the other thing. You're not reliant upon seeing the main characters that are only in X amount of things.
That's good. It's like it has a reason to exist. It has its own style.
Yeah, it is its own thing, and I like that. The Pablo character, like, it took me a long time to really like him the first time I watched it, because I had seen him in a couple of things where he played like a tough guy, and it didn't sell for me because I'm like, he's a very skinny guy, like, he doesn't feel like a tough guy, not the guy I would have traditionally cast in these roles. But then, like, on second viewing of the show, I kind of liked him from the beginning. Like, I was like, no, I think whatever you did to become get me endeared to you has held. And,
that's really funny.
It works.
I think that the same thing happened to me, because like watching him now, I like had this vague thought of like, yeah, I think his character gets weird later or something, because I remember like not liking him as much. But this time I like immediately like him, and I think it's because I've seen parts of the show before. Yeah. And I'm like endeared to his whole thing or whatever.
Which is also good because it adds to the second watch where I don't like go like, fuck this guy when he's talking. I'm not as annoyed by him. Where sometimes, like, if you don't like a character, you're less enthused as to what they have to say.
I'm shocked that we both had the exact same thing.
It must just be a literal thing that this guy projects. And I think in general, when watching it the first time, it took me a while to get used to there being like a cast of characters and not just at all being reliant on Bruce. And makes sense. While he's getting older, he can't be the main focus for the whole time, because how many physical stunts can the man do a day? How many things can you? How many buckets of blood can you throw in his face? And a lot. But
the answer's a lot.
But I don't know that he could have taken all of this.
No, and like it was a good decision, right? Like I think I too was like, shut up, get out of here, you suck, Bruce Campbell, more Bruce Campbell. But yeah, like it's more interesting to have an actual cast that can do different things. And,
yes.
Yeah, and it helps because it's been 30 years, but now he can like explain things to them that explains things to us that like changes the world and makes it make sense, quote unquote. Again, right?
You know what else may have impacted my view as I think about it was the first time I saw him, like, aside from the movies I'd seen him in, was live, like seeing him before I saw his character as Pablo, because he was talking for at least 20 minutes before, and I might have disliked him in reality.
At the Comic-Con panel or whatever.
He may have just like rubbed me the wrong way that day. But now I would totally go to a panel and hear him talk about stuff.
Right.
As I've grown to like him. But he may have just, the thing he was wearing or the blah, blah, or my preconceived walk-in. I didn't like him as much, and it threw off my perspective on his character.
He had a little bit of a weird attitude. He was like doing a Bruce almost, as I remember during that first thing.
Well, and it's hard to compete because he's on a stage with Bruce. I don't think Ted was there on that first one, or maybe he was. I don't recall.
He was at one of them. Yeah, I don't know if that was that one.
Yeah, he may have hosted. I can't remember. My mind.
He sat next to you.
Yeah. But like, you know what I'm saying? When you have a lot of things on the table. Oh no, Lucy Lawless. He was probably sitting between like Lucy Lawless and Bruce or something. Yeah. So like, you know, you have a lot to feed off of and a lot of energy that you're trying to like. I have to rise to this occasion, and I don't think he did it well then. But that was also the beginning of his like, you know, stardom. Not that he hadn't had parts before, but this was probably his biggest thing in 3 seasons of this.
Yeah, I had never seen him before, so this is like it's a new thing for me. Him.
It's new to me. It's not a repeat.
No to me.
So this episode, we pick up further with our female cop, and she's starting to get a taste for what's actually happening in this world. She's seeing stuff happen.
I hated the forced line. He brought some whore here with a wrist tattoo or something like that.
Because that tattoo is so small too, and at any point he would have brought her there, it would probably have been dark. And how close were you to see that?
Weird.
Yeah,
yes.
That was very forced.
But like, you know, whatever, it's fine. But yes, I was like, oh god, I wrote ugh next to wrist tattoo, ugh,
because they needed that.
Yeah.
It would have been easy, like better for me if you would have like, oh, I know her name, I know her mother, that's blah 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 blah, and like types her into her computer like she's been arrested before, has identifying marks on file, like that would have been you know, less egregious to me. But I understand that there's how much time can you invest in something?
Yeah, and it's like, you know, if they knew that it was stupid, they could have leaned in a little more to make it out there. Whatever, it was like half stupid, so that's what hurt me.
Yeah. No, I definitely felt that because I don't think it annoyed me the first time I watched it.
Yeah, no,
but
I did not
this
notice
time,
it at all.
It definitely,
it's very funny.
It definitely stood out, and as like, oh, that's cringy. Why'd you do that?
Oh no, yes, and we don't get too much more with her. It's kind of just like crime scene stuff, you've been suspended stuff, and then way at the end, she's like at the bookstore already.
Well, there's one more cringy bit with her.
Oh, no. Okay.
Is when she goes back to the house and sees a piece of his shirt on
I'm
like, would not the crime scene investigators have seen this?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that, like, remotely, like, help her story out? I understand there's really no winning. You can't, because there's no real-world explanation for, no, he was flung up there and he was impaled and then he came back down and he was fighting me as a demon. Like, that's not going to fly.
He crawled around on the ceiling a bit and all that stuff.
And you can't prove the crawling on the ceiling, but most likely, unless there's like a footprint, undoubted, but he's probably on his knees and hands. Maybe a handprint.
There's a knee print.
But the idea that like they didn't see that or like remove that or bag that or something like seemed a little weird to me.
Well,
like she's the like only one that spots a like bright yellow shirt on an antler.
I'm okay with all of that, but I like that she was like, it did happen or whatever, and you're like,
was it not obvious that it happened? like I guess you could think you had a schizophrenic episode and just shot your partner in the face, but barring that,
I guess that's probably what she thinks, but yeah, still, I don't know. A lot's happened there. There's a lot of corpses that are.
There is a lot to unpack, and if this were to happen to you and you were explaining me about demons and things, I would believe you, but most people probably would not. I'm here for you.
Well, I'd be like, her head's backwards. I guess her head got shot off of her body, but her neck's backwards. You'd be able to tell.
Well, someone could have broken her neck. Presumably this female cop who's gone schizo. I don't know how hard that would be. I assume given some time and try, I could twist a person's head around.
I mean, we got time later. We can try this out.
All right, we'll practice it. We'll get back to you. So yeah, but then she ends up at the bookstore, and that's kind of her whole shtick.
And now our friends are all, you know, Ash and crew are on their way to the bookstore, so that's where we're gonna go later.
That bookstore seems so out of place for what that bookstore is. You're like, it's like in the middle of the ghetto, like it's like Books of the Doomed or whatever it's called.
Industrial section.
Yeah.
Books from Beyond.
Books from Beyond.
Something like that. Yeah. But we get the manager in the back seat. We get all this cool stuff.
Yeah.
Never killed my boss before or whatever.
Check that off the list.
Yeah. No, and I think so. Like that's where the endearment starts, where Pablo's kind of like, "Is this what it's like for you?" or whatever. And he's like, "Well, I'd be lying if I said no." And does all these things or whatever, right? There's some line really, really early on. I would say it's a gift from God, but this is all me, baby.
Yeah,
and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, all right, because we like literally said last time that like that's his attitude is kind of like I'm accidentally doing all these things, and it's like, is it luck? No.
Yeah, it's super confident in his with his lack of abilities.
Yeah,
but he does always get the job done,
right?
Yeah.
In this weird, it's like a superpower.
Well, he is foreshadowed as like the chosen one that can get us through this darkest of days, and I believe it.
And now there's a prophecy going on.
Yes.
So they go to Kelly's house not because they want to help Kelly or do anything with Kelly, but because Kelly, quote unquote, has the book.
Yeah, Pablo lied. lied
Kelly
to
doesn't
help
have
her.
the book. That's great. Pablo has the book the whole time. It's wonderful. On the way, the manager's in the back seat and they fight with him. I loved the bit where he's like, they fight. That's fine. Whatever. Great. And then later, he's like, well, if anything happens, Pablo, just use your bottle. And he's like,
Yes.
I don't know, Jefe.
That took you like 50
You have to
stabs.
punch him with. I was just sharpening it for you. It's fine. Whatever. He's holding it like, okay.
And it's like the smallest of broken bottles.
Yeah.
It's like the neck and like one little jut.
I don't think this is a good weapon. It's just like, oh god, it's wonderful. Yeah.
I like that. Potentially, the book was exactly where he left it the whole time. Like, because he didn't have it like in his pocket. It wasn't like in his shirt.
No.
And Bruce never goes back into his trailer. So like, it could just be like on that shelf. Like it's like, oh no, that's where it's always been.
He
Whatever.
opens like a little satchel or something like that, but I don't know. Like he wasn't. Yeah, he didn't like have that or whatever.
I think it's
no,
funny.
It's great. Yeah.
I like Kelly's house. Very very nice. Until it gets splattered with the blood of her family.
Or?
Yeah, no, it was like it was a good place to fight. It seemed like a nice house.
Yeah. Now and you get like the kids' room and again you get like the Deadite turning back and trying to play for sympathy and all
That's
that stuff.
a thing.
It's a good angle. It's a good horror thing or whatever.
And it is an established technique. Tried and true.
Tried and true. They claim it's like oh no, she's not dead. She was never dead. She just had amnesia and all that stuff. And Bruce is like, a likely story. It's great.
I do like, and just because I love Bruce scrambling for to backpedal in a bad situation, it would have been really funny if she wasn't a Deadite and it was all because he just laying on being a dick, punches his mom, and then a Deadite jumps through the window, and you're like, ah. Of course, it was
just
great
let
the way it
bygones
was,
be bygones.
But I would have just
broke my
pictured
wife's
her
nose.
dad be a priceless face of like, you hit my wife in the face.
There's a line in there where Bruce is like, it's not about you, Dad. And the dad goes, kind of like stops or whatever. I laughed out loud at that one.
He's perfectly an unapologetic dick, and it really fits everything about the character, the scenes. It makes them.
When they bust in, like, and then they go, whoa, what are you doing?
We hit a deer, it exploded. Well, I'm a hunter, and I've never seen a deer explode.
This thing, I had to cut it up with my chainsaw arm.
Yeah.
Whatever. You're just like, oh, God. Yeah, it's wonderful. I like the knife in the head. And that's because they are slowly establishing, like, you have to, like, behead them, basically.
You have to really dismember these bastards.
Disable them physically. It's not just, like, because the one had, like, half of her head shot out, and then this one now had a knife, like, in the head. But it isn't like Walking Dead rules or whatever you want to call it.
No, it's not kill the brain.
Pop the head, right? You actually have to.
But, like, I believe in the future we do have Deadites that get decapitated that the head stays alive.
Yeah.
And so, like, the rules, again, are always just they're whatever they need to be for the scene.
As long as the body dies, we're okay.
We'll keep posted on that.
Much less dangerous if the body dies.
But I kind of like it that it's like, there's no rules. Things just happen. This one's stronger in that way. This one's whatever. This happened there. This is that.
Yeah. And
because it's mostly it's not a thing where I need rules that work because of it's a comedy. So like it's really just an ends to a means to get to the joke to have this a loose plot of a hero and the random scenes of and now I'm going to kill him with an egg beater or whatever the hell the thing.
It fits with Bruce's style because he's not trying to figure out the rules
at all
and like solve for them. He's just like, let's go, and like does the thing. Yeah. So it all works out. I still like rules, but I can live. I
just love how the chainsaw becomes like a lightsaber because it cuts through things instantly. There's they throw a table and he's like, oh, then it just like separates around.
I was just gonna say he just holds it up and it, like cuts through the table and all that stuff. I've never have I ever used the chainsaw? I never have used the chainsaw. So for all I know, that's how they work.
They do not work that way.
I mean, if I ever get a hold of one, that's the kind of stuff I'm gonna be doing.
You will immediately be kicked into your own face and be like, "Oh God!"
Yeah, no, I will die. That's why I'm telling you ahead of time. Well, mostly, honestly, I want you to never give me a chainsaw.
Deal.
Cause I'll strap it on and be like,
like, I don't like operating a chainsaw the way he does. Is very interesting because like chainsaws don't work that way. You have to be pulling a trigger for a chainsaw to work, and you almost always have to have two hands on a chainsaw because they do kick. Like there's a tremendous amount. It's a blade spinning this way, so it wants to come back at you. So you need your second hand on there to hold it down.
Okay.
Bruce is a beast though, so we know this about him.
I was gonna say he puts it on sometimes.
And I'm not sure if it were literally attached to my hand, would that make it easier? Maybe. I can't say though.
Who knows? Who's to say, really?
Who's to say?
I think it's yeah. He's probably like rigged it up. He works at a store.
Yes. He works at a
Yes.
Walmart-esque store. Obviously, comes with the knowledge of all the things to fix.
He's seen you tools before.
I'm not 100% sure he could change a light bulb based on seeing what he did to light bulbs.
So good. Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much everything.
We're on our way to the
episode,
bookstore
right?
now.
Yeah.
The plot's moving. We still haven't had Ruby come back in yet, but we've teased her and all that stuff. But yeah, all of our main characters...
I believe, if memory serves, she makes an appearance at the bookstore.
Oh, yeah. But all of our main characters have zero attachments with that town. Oh,
yeah.
Last line. Oh, you're kind of like me. Deadites killed, Deadites ruined your life and you're hot as hell.
Yeah.
And she's like, God damn it. Or whatever. And like, and like, I didn't notice it the first time, I think, either, but Pablo's whole thing where it's like he chimes in with something else and like takes the flask, like he's like inserting himself. Yeah, I hate this evil too. We should all go.
Yes.
Or no, he just flat out says, Kelly, you should come with us or whatever, as if like they're still going when like Bruce the whole time was like no or whatever, right? And he knows where he's going.
He's
and
got
all
to.
that stuff. Yeah, it's like really good
because he wants to be like Bruce and he wants to be with her. So
but that's
everything he needs is this event to bring his life potentially to where it has to be.
I think the first time though, I didn't catch him like having to like push it at all.
Yeah.
I just thought, no, we just naturally all went to like the thing or whatever.
No, it's actually great.
I was like, shut up, get to the bookstore, figure out that doesn't work, the portal or something, just keep going. I was not like soaking in these like little things or whatever.
No,
like
it's
so
better on
like,
second view. It is.
Oh, and and like the whole thing, they're Jewish. You know they're Jewish.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Could have told me that before I made these crosses.
These dumb crosses or whatever. I'm like, that's pretty good, but then leaves them there.
Of course.
Just goes.
Well, what is he gonna do? Tie like 6 sticks together?
Menorahs? I don't know. I don't know what. I don't even know why a cross is bad for Jewish people, but
well, it's not. Fine. But I think the only reason there's a cross on a grave is because you're of that religion. I don't think that's just a standard. It wasn't around before religion.
I thought he was implying that Jewish people were like vampires and the cross would hurt them from beyond the grave.
No. Well, yes, but that wasn't what he was implying.
Well, yes, but he didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, guys, so that's everything that happened in episode 2. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.